G'day, Sea Dog here. Welcome to my channel for high school drilling students.
Okay students, welcome back, and we're in our leather series, and I've shown you how to do two forms of joining leather. One is with a rivet, which is permanent. One is with a press stud, which is not permanent in the sense that you can open and shut it. And I'm going to show you today the third system, which is probably the trickiest, which is stitching it together. So we're using a type of stitching called saddle stitching, and which is used on saddles. That's where it gets its name from, in the horse riding industry there. And it's a really strong form of joining, and it is permanent. Okay, so we're going to make some holes, and the trick with saddle stitching is we want the holes to be an even amount in from the edge all the way around, and we want the holes to be equally distant apart from each other. So the leather suppliers, leather stockists, sell you these special punches here. It looks like a fork. They're really quite sharp there. The beauty of these is when we use a hammer to punch a hole through the leather like that, it ensures that the distance between the holes is perfectly the same, perfectly equally distant, and that makes a nice, neat, strong stitch. So these come, this one's a 6-pronger, then I've got a 4, a 2 and a 1. So, and obviously if you're going around a curve or something, you can use a 1 or a 2. But if we've got nice long straight edges here, we can use probably these two. We might have to use the other two in the corner there. Okay, so that's going to help keep our stitches equally distant from each other, nice and even that way. But we also need to make sure they're even from the edge of the material. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got a set of jeweler's dividers here, and I'm just going to lightly put a little bit of a score through there. I'm not pressing very hard, just enough so I can sort of see it, and that's about 4mm in from the edge. So I'm going to mark both of my pieces. I know now that my holes are going to be perfectly equally distant in from the edge on both pieces of leather. Alright, so that's really good. Now we're going to punch these holes using these punches here, but what I'm going to first actually do is use the single one to put a hole in each of the corners, because I want to make sure that my corner ones are exactly in the right spot. So if I was, for example, use this one and then move it over, I may not end up right in the corner, but I want my final holes in the corners to be the same distance apart from the corner there. So I'm going to use this single punch and put a hole like that. Just wiggle it out. Okay, so I've got my corners all stamped out. So then I'm going to go to this big guy here, because I want to get the most amount of holes done per stamp. So I'm just going to pop him in like that. And just turn it over, just make sure I can see here that all of the 6 prongs are poking through. So I'm just going to wriggle him out. Now, this work can be a bit tricky, so if I put that there, that's actually okay, it's not perfect, but I'm going to live with that. So I'm just going to pop that there, and because I'm putting it in the previous hole, it's going to keep those holes equally distant. Look at that. Okay, so then I'm just going to work my way around doing the same thing. So turn him round like this. So this one's not quite so even here. So what I might just do is use my 2 to go back one, like that. And then I'm going to use my single one just to split the difference here. Make it a little bit more even.